Hi everyone, this is Siris Rivas. So I wanted to do a quick video. This idea in the last couple of days after facilitating classes in the suburbs of Chicago and facilitating some webinars, there's been this recurring idea that keeps coming up and this interesting tool that I like to use for it. So when I was growing up, through most of my life, I had the point of view that if I felt something, if I was thinking something, if I was aware of something, that it was mine. And I was very, very aware, and I was feeling a lot, and I was thinking a lot. And I was getting tested by school psychologists, and I was around a lot of adults and a lot of kids too in schools, my family, friends, what have you. And I was picking up on so many different things, and my body was picking up on so many different things, and so many different sensations were coming up. And my default setting was, it must be mine. This must be something I have to do something about or say something about. There has to be some call of action just as soon as I get this information. There was a lot of information, so I was often doing a lot and saying a lot. A lot of it was the saying for me. I was like constantly talking. And so now, more and more, so grateful for Access Consciousness tools. They gave me the tool. So who does this belong to? And it was such a game changer for me. And I've acknowledged it in some of my other videos. The piece that I hadn't acknowledged to the same degree until this last week and this last couple of days with facilitation was, wow, okay, now my default is not mine. And I actually talked to someone in my classes, and I was like, you can write on the top of your hand here, not mine. So you can see it all the time, and just have it slide right off. I'm like, not mine, not mine, not mine. And more, like, that's where I function from. I assume first that it's not mine, and then I ask, is it? But a lot of times, as soon as I say not mine, everything gets so much lighter that I don't even need to know. I don't need to ask if it was mine to begin with, if it's true, because what's true for you lightens things up, makes you smile and laugh, like creates more space with your body and more ease. And so as soon as you say, not mine, if it does create some more ease for you, it's true. It's true that it wasn't yours to begin with. And so, gosh, so many different scenarios that this can play out with. You know, the person that brought this up in my class, I was facilitating an energetic facelift class where when you touch the face, you give with using energy and activating these different like 20 some energies, you're running the energies through the body by touching the face, and it gives your whole body and your face a lift. Amazing. One of the most dynamic body processes of Access Consciousness. I love facilitating this class. And this person was coming up with all these different pains in her back that was coming up during the class. And I was facilitating her out of it. And every time I asked her, so truth, is that yours? She kept getting a no. And then it would kind of move around in her body. And I was like, is your default setting that it's yours just because you feel it? Because it comes up in your world, in your body. And she's like, yeah. And I was like, so as soon as you assume it's yours and you start trying to fix it and change it, it locks it in your body more, and it's going to take longer, potentially, not always, but longer, to get rid of it, instead of just assuming from the beginning, it's not mine. It's immediately, if it's contracting my body, if it's creating pain, if it's really like heavy, it's not mine. And I was like, I would tattoo it here on your forehead, because it came up so often in the class for her. I was like, I would tattoo it here. And then one of the participants was like, she wouldn't see it there. She needs to see it. And I was like, it's true. So we came up with, okay, let's write it on your hand. And then you could be like, not mine, not mine, not mine, not mine. And it seemed to work. So by the end of the class, she would immediately be like, this isn't mine. Okay. And this isn't mine. Okay. And that isn't mine. Okay. And I'm just aware. Okay. I'm very aware. Yes. Okay. Like, instead of like, oh, and now it's this and this and this. The other piece that I got, it was some other awarenesses that were going on with her as well, is that she was used to getting attention for all of the stuff that she was picking up on from other people. So if she had pain, she would get a lot of attention from that, and she liked attention. So I asked her, I was like, well, what if you can actually ask to have the attention and the recognition and the acknowledgement for other things in other ways without having to create the solidification and the pain and the intensity in your body? And does an infinite being actually require attention and acknowledgement from other people? Like, what if you could just know that you know stuff and you don't need somebody to say, oh, this is what's going on and da 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 da. So that's one of the things that shifted for her. And I was like, and also with that whole need to have the acknowledgement from someone else and the permission to let something go. Like, she wouldn't let it go until I said, is that yours? As if that was giving her permission to let it go. It's like, you can just choose that for you. So who does that belong to? This need to get permission from someone else. And for her, it seemed to be that she was actually, it belonged to her as a child, her in the past. So it doesn't actually have to be that it belongs to anyone else that's outside of you. It could also be you in another time. And either way, not yours, not yours, not yours, not yours. So you can let that go. And she did. She just did return to sender with consciousness attached, return to sender with consciousness attached, return to sender with consciousness attached. And what that does is it gives whatever that point of view, sensation, feeling back to wherever it came from, and you add consciousness so that the person that where it came from can have the awareness of what it is, what's going on there, and then they can choose if they'd like to get rid of it or not. But if you don't add the consciousness attached, if you don't return it to them with consciousness attached, they don't actually get a chance to look at that and consider not having it. They just keep it. So you're actually inviting whoever else it belongs to, and you don't need to know who it is before you return it. You can just be like, pew, 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 pew. Double-handed. Ooh. You can just return it and have more ease, and whatever they choose is whatever they choose. You don't need to know. It could be someone that's 10,000, 20,000 miles away. And so if you wait to know exactly who it is, you're going to be maybe waiting a long time. You don't need to know who it is because you're so aware. You're aware of people around the world, even people that you haven't met yet in this life. So, and you see what's true for you feels light. So if that's true for you, it might feel light. It might have a mix of of uncomfortableness with it because some of us don't want to actually acknowledge how aware we are. That was me for a long time. I'm choosing something different now. So yeah, I invite you to play around with this whole not mine, return to sender with consciousness attached, pew, 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 and see if that actually creates a little bit more ease and space for you in your life and in your world. Let me know. Keep me posted. Post below to see what shows up for you. Let me know what shows up for you. And let me know if there's any other way I can contribute to you and your beautiful body so that you can have more ease and joy and glory. Thanks so much and have a lovely day. Bye.